If this happens to us, you can eat me. I'm okay with that.
In the running for the Best International Feature Academy Award, it is the latest from Spanish filmmaker J.A. Bayona, Society of the Snow, now streaming on Netflix.
Si no comemos, nos vamos a morir. ¿Comer qué?
Brr, it is chilly. You're going to want to watch this on the couch under a blanket. They definitely make you feel the cold with this one. You got to subscribe to us here at Breakfast All Day because we're doing all the international film nominees. Today we're doing Society of the Snow. We've already done the Teacher's Lounge. We're going to do Il Capitano. So come hang out with us por todo el tiempo. So this is a story, this is not alive. This is a totally different story about a Uruguayan rugby team full of people who ate each other. Spoiler. This is the thing that happened.
The third one, actually, because there was a cheapy movie in the 70s called Survive.
Okay.
That actually was like a low-budget Mexican movie that producer Alan Carr saw on vacation, and he and Robert Stigwood bought the rights and released it in the U.S. and made a shit ton of money on it. So
why is it not a musical?
Give them time. They'll get there.
So this is a story you may have heard, but if not, this actually happened in 1972. This Uruguayan rugby team was taking a flight to Chile to play in a tournament?
Something like that, yeah.
And they had to go over the Andes to do this. And we get just enough information to know about how dangerous this is, like scientifically, in terms of going over the mountains. You can't go straight over the mountains. You got to go around them because the plane will get sucked down into the cold. It's like a vacuum. But it didn't go well, and they crashed. And they were stuck in this like little canyon that no one could see them. There was a rescue team, people flew over it, no one could see them. And so this film very meticulously follows the days and weeks and months of them being stranded in the freezing cold and how they figured out a way to survive. This is also up for best makeup and hairstyling. And what is part of what is so chilling, no pun intended, about this film, it's just the really visceral detail in the actual crash and then how everyone deteriorates or what kinds of injuries they've suffered. It is very bleak and very intimate and very in your face. I was thinking about you, Alonso, and imagining that you were probably squirming a lot of the time, because I know sitting next to you in movies when there's like something bloody or a really gnarly injury that you're like, ah!
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And that's part of what they do so well here is the plane crash itself is harrowing and so well done in terms of the visual effects and just like you're in the plane and then you're like out the back of the plane as pieces are coming off and sliding down. And I thought that was all so well done, but you get to know these people just enough to know what their personalities are like, who they are to each other, who they were to each other prior to all of this, and how that dictates how they're going to go forward. I thought this was so well done, so tense. If you are claustrophobic, you might have a problem with several sequences here. There are avalanches that are exquisitely tense. I just learned watching this that my son is claustrophobic because he had to like get up and walk out of the room at one point during one of the avalanches where they get all packed inside. So I thought this was so well paced. It's a story that but they find humanity within it, and the details are so well done from a visual effects perspective that I was into it.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. The visual effects are tremendous. My issue with Bayona, this is now the second movie he's made where he's taken a real life tragedy and kind of thrown viewers into the middle of it. He made The Impossible, which was the tsunami movie with Naomi Watts and Ewan McGregor. And I feel like he loves to avail himself to everything that CG and practical effects and whatever allows him as a filmmaker to really put you in these really terrible, uncomfortable situations. The plane crash is very detailed in its horror, the way the seats cram together and then some of them go flying out the back of the fuselage. But I feel like it's that sort of Robert Zemeckis thing where like I think he's more into the technical challenge than he is necessarily in the dramatic challenge. I disagree that we really get to know these characters. No. I feel like they're we get little dribs and drabs, and unfortunately Well, it's not that the performers aren't good, but they haven't been cast in a way that it's easy for us to remember who's who. And like, I really appreciate when a casting director finds these sort of distinctive faces that like you can look at them once and be like, okay, that's that character. I know who that is. This one, everybody's around the same age for the most part. They've all got dark hair. And like, I oftentimes I didn't always know who was who, and I didn't get a strong sense, with a couple of exceptions. There are a few characters that get a little more screen time and a little more action in the film, but I kind of felt like they all sort of blurred together as to which player was which and who was doing what. So that kind of took me out of it. I wasn't watching individuals dealing with this crisis. I was like sort of watching this group, but nobody in the group was standing out to me quite enough. But
the way they edit it, though, I'm sorry, really fast. The way they edit it is that when someone is in a moment of crisis, etc., there's a quick flashback to that lunch they all had together, that last fun afternoon, saying goodbye to their loved ones at the airport. And I was like, oh, right, that's that guy. Oh, right. Oh, he was doing that. And I feel like they do a good job of connecting the dots when it all gets crazy in the snow. I
mean, that helps, but usually by that point, it's not enough to really, because even then, those are like the smallest bits of introduction with these characters. And so I don't know if this is the kind of thing where either you make it a miniseries or you have to just sort of focus on a few people, but I got lost among the team of it all. And I didn't, so they didn't pop out to me as individual personalities dealing with this specific, circumstance in a specific way. But as far as like the craft of this movie, it's exceptional. I mean, like you really feel like you were trapped on that mountainside. You understand, like there's a part where some of them go climbing up to find the back of the plane and they look down and they realize, oh shit, we can't see the plane from here. No way that anybody flying over is going to see it. Like they walk you through the details of it. Obviously the cannibalism comes up and that's pretty discreetly handled. Like they could have been much more graphic and they chose not to, which thank goodness.
And that actually makes it more like deeply disturbing.
Sure,
I feel like
you're filling in the blanks yourself and like, thinking about it.
I had a good chat with my son. I'm like, if this happens to us, you can eat me. I'm okay with that. Like, I'm like,
I'm sign
petite,
a waiver.
Right. I'm really short. I'm a tiny person. I'm not going to provide a whole lot of nourishment, but if you need it,
I'm marbled, like, I've got the flavor. But plus the fact that like, you think about, oh God, they had to, the cannibalism, but also like they didn't have any fires. So they were having like cannibal sushi. Like it was just all the more
sashimi.
Like, carpaccio, it was just really terrifying.
We can laugh about this now because this is not happening to us.
It wasn't us, exactly. But yeah, so like the movie takes all that very seriously and delivers the horror that you would expect that it would. For me, where I lost it was I didn't feel like I had a strong enough grasp on who each character was and how this horrifying event, affected each one of them individually. But on the whole, he definitely is portraying the event itself, with real impact.
Does this deserve to be among the 5 nominees for Best International Film, do you think?
I mean, I didn't see the entire shortlist, so it's hard to say. Although I know at least one movie that I really loved that was actually a couple that I loved that weren't even shortlisted. One of them we're talking about today, The Breaking Ice from Singapore, and then also The Delinquents from Argentina. I thought were both great, and neither of them made it to shortlist. So I would have picked either of those films over this one, but as far as what was actually on the short list, I couldn't say.
Yeah, and I really dug Fallen Leaves, which we reviewed here, the Finnish film, and that was not among the
you're right.
nominees.
Yeah.
So there's that too. But anyway, it's on Netflix.
Yes.
You can go check it out. Let us know what you think of it. Alonso, what's your number?
I'd say like a 6.8. I mean, I definitely, like I said, from a craft level, I think I really appreciated it, but it just didn't deliver me for the story and character level.
Yeah, I'll say like an 8.7. I thought it was super well done and it was very, very tense. And so it's out there in the world, Society of the Snow. Go check it out.